guys can't hear him talking, but that's probably fine. Hello and welcome to the Magic Hour Show. It is our special Extra Life edition, Extra Life 2015. We're doing here. I'm doing it here with my kids, and joining us on stream is Mikey Rollins.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Mikey, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Get my Star Wars on.
Getting your Star Wars. You're playing Disney Infinity 3.0 Star Wars right now. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct.
Now,
Doing
what is
the Shadows of the Empire part.
what is your stream on Twitch? It's L or E1 Mikey. Right?
Yeah, it's E1 Mikey. I couldn't get L Mikey.
Oh, you couldn't, yeah. So E1 Mikey, if you want to tune in to catch the stream, maybe you'll put a highlight up there later for the folks at home if they're not watching live.
Yeah.
And our stream, of course, is twitch.tv/The Magic Hour Show. So that's where you can see us. Right now we are playing Mario Party 10, although I'm not playing. I'm just watching the kids play. So it's perfect, right? You have kids, get them to play, get them involved.
Yep.
Maybe
Get
money for
my daughter to take over in a second.
Yeah. So what we're doing, if you don't know, Extra Life is a charity event. It's a 24-hour video game marathon that raises money for Children's Hospital, the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. So for myself, we are raising money for the Sick Kids Hospital here in Toronto. Mikey, I called you El Mikey.
Yeah, I know. It works. I'm doing it for Texas Children's Hospital here in Houston.
So there you go. That's what we're doing. And you can still donate, even if it's not during the weekend. So this weekend it was November 7th was the day. We actually started Friday, the day before, because we don't want to do a straight 24 hours because we can't do that anymore. Well, the kids want to try, but maybe we'll do it again later. But right now, like, life is like, I did it once. The first time I did it, we did 24 hours. We actually did 25 hours because it was time change weekend. And that was pretty crazy. It was crazy for me because I'm the only one that stayed up. The kids went to sleep.
Yeah. This year, I'll maybe another year in the future. I didn't plan it out as well. I wanted to do the full straight 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then I looked down at my calendar. I was like, oh, it's like we're going to like a play tomorrow, and we got a lot of other stuff we're doing. So it's like, you know.
Can't be completely baked, right?
Yeah.
So.
And my daughter's joining me.
All right. Hello. Welcome.
You want to say hello?
So this is a family event right here. Family going on. Yeah, so we did 8 hours on Friday, and then today we're going to do from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m., something like that. And then tomorrow morning we just want to catch the last couple hours. We'll start at 6 in the morning and just catch the close of it. So, but like I was saying, you can still donate after the fact. If you happen to be watching this on Twitch, there's a button that I put on the page there on Twitch underneath where you can just click and donate. And basically, even though the event is just this weekend, you can still donate all through to the end of the year, pretty much. So, you know, anytime if you're just watching this later on, please donate if you can. And for all you live viewers, I don't know if there are any right now. Let's see. There might not be any live viewers right now. There's one. I don't know who that is. If you're actually watching this right now, can you just leave a thing on the chat? That'd be great.
It's Ryan. It's Ryan watching.
Oh, it might be Ryan watching. Well, Ryan said he had something to do this weekend, so he couldn't do Extra Life this weekend. But next year, we'll get it really coordinated, and we'll either we'll split it up where everybody can do all the days, and we'll split it up into 4 8-hour chunks or something.
Oh yeah.
4 times 8, is that right? No, that's not right. 3 times 8.
3 times 8.
3 times 8.
3 8-hour sessions.
Is 3 times 8 24?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, Daddy. Okay, yes it is. Apparently. So, yeah, or something like that next year. We'll see what we can do. Anyway, so that's Extra Life. That's what we're doing. So, but we're going to try and do a little show here while our kids are playing.
Yep.
And so, Mikey, the news in your house is that you got an Apple TV, the new one.
I did get an Apple
Got
TV,
the controller.
and I
have the SteelSeries Nimbus controller.
Yeah.
How does it? Tell me about the controller. How does that feel?
It actually feels really good. It feels kind of like a cross between an Xbox One controller and a PS4, which is kind of weird to say. I thought the analog stick felt a little loose when I got it, but now that I've been playing games with it, it seems pretty good. Really cool thing is it charges via Lightning, so it uses the same charging port as all the other stuff.
Right.
Plus, the Apple TV came with a Lightning cable, so I have one just plugged into my computer in my office now.
Sweet.
And you know, because the new controller, which moved around somewhere, also charges via Lightning, and it's kind of nice. It takes, according to the manual, it takes 9 hours to charge, but it supposedly gives a couple of months of battery life out of it.
Right, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. So you said it's between an Xbox One and a PS4 controller?
Yeah.
Are the sticks offset, or are they?
No, that's kind of the reason I say.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah, because but the.
Do you have a Wii U Pro controller?
I don't have a Pro controller for Wii.
So I'm wondering, like, the weight. How heavy is it? Like, is it weighted in between, or is it about the same as every other controller?
Same as every other controller. Like, it doesn't feel heavier, or it doesn't feel too light, and it doesn't feel too heavy, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
The controller's really nice, though. It supposedly works on Mac as well, so I'm gonna try that out.
Okay.
Maybe my nighttime stream is actually gonna be me playing Deus Ex on Mac.
Oh, there you go.
So
cool. And did you get your Steam controller?
No, I haven't got my Steam controller yet.
Okay. You pre-ordered.
I did pre-order, but I did cancel because it doesn't work with the Mac.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so, I did pre-order.
So in the States, did it come out yesterday in the States?
I believe it shipped this past week. I'm not sure if everybody got them. My friend
Ryan was saying that it was going to be there yesterday, so we could use it for the stream. But in Canada, at my EB Games, it's not there until the 10th.
Okay.
So I won't be able to get it until next week. But
I'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll be able to give it a rundown, because I'll also, Monday, I have some friends coming in from out of town, and it's that group of friends that happen to order the Pro Controller, or the Steam Controller, plus they ordered Steam Links.
Oh, nice. So you can test out the entire system.
The entire package.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I'm playing?
My thing with the Steam controller, like, I hear like it's really customizable, right? You can map all the controls to anything you want. But I find sometimes when that happens, like it can be a little bit complex depending on what game you're trying to set it up for. But hopefully there's some nice sort of presets that work with the majority of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I think the big thing that they were mentioning is like with the two kind of haptic pads that are on there, you're able to kind of mimic mouse controls.
Right.
And then you have the buttons underneath, so you'll be able to mount just about everything you need to. Because they showed I think in one of the demos I watched, they were playing City Skylines, which doesn't have like controller support, and they just quickly used a preset mapping for that style of game, and were able to quickly play it using the.
Yeah. You know, someone I was talking to recently was talking about the Xbox One Elite controller, which they picked up. But I mean, that's like $180 or whatever it is. It's expensive. But they were saying that the remap function is really handy, so that for them, you know, any game they play, they can have, you know, all their shooter controls the way they like them for every single game. It's just the same, right? Because they like a certain layout, and so for whatever game it is, you just remap it, and then every game is the same. So I'm like, oh, that's an interesting thought. I never really thought of that.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good thought. I mean, I
can make everything like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Well, in Monster Hunter, like I could see you using that that style controller if there was a PC version of Monster Hunter that's not. I forget what the name of that one is now. The online MMO that
the Korean, Chinese.
Yeah, the Chinese.
Online?
Yeah. Freedom.
Unite?
That's not Freedom Unite.
Okay, I'm being tasked to play a game right now.
Okay.
Mikey, you talk.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. So, yeah, I could remap a lot of those controls and have a good time with it. But
we'll talk about what about the Wiimote controller for the Apple?
Yeah.
How's that working?
It's working really well. So the day I got it, I tried out a couple of games just using that. So I was waiting for my SteelSeries controller to come in.
Right.
It was kind of interesting because a lot of games are using the trackpad functionality on there to be like motions. Yeah, so I was playing Oceanhorn, which is kind of a Zelda-like game, and I was moving around with that and then clicking to actually attack. And it was pretty interesting. I was actually kind of bummed out because I wanted to be able to swing to actually attack. I was hoping to be able to move and then swing. It worked really well. It's a little awkward feeling, but it does a pretty good job getting the job done. The best time I think we had playing with the actual Siri remote, as they're calling it, was we played Shadowmatic last night for about an hour. So that one was really cool, and you actually you take like an object on the screen and you manipulate it to actually make the shadow into a certain like object. And so yeah, like a bunny, and it looked really cool. So I really shoot that guy.
I'm trying to dodge fire while I just do
You're fine. I'm watching the kiddo shoot the Cantina band because she's mean.
Shooting the Cantina band.
Yeah, you're in the Tatooine Cantina. But you don't, yeah, you need to destroy stuff for coins, but you need to kill that guy. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think what else I played. I played Asphalt, which is kind of like their like racing game. You're actually using it like you're using like playing Mario Kart on the Wii. It worked really well. It was still auto drive, instead of like actually having like where you change your momentum by pressing like a button.
Right.
Which would have been probably more fun. I played Rayman, the auto runner one.
Oh, runner, yeah. Okay.
That was actually really good, and it felt really good playing with the Siri remote because it was just swipes and clicks. Okay. So, Crossy Road. Played lots of Crossy Road.
Did you play the multiplayer of that?
I haven't played the multiplayer yet. We're gonna do that probably later today.
Yeah.
I really need to get a streaming setup so I can actually stream some of the stuff, but we played probably more games on it over this week than we have anything else.
Yeah.
Just because of all the stuff that's available for it. There's a good bit of things, like we just went into it like day one, went to purchase and see what was all in our purchase library, and already had like 40 apps that were available to download. So now it's just going in and wanting to see if it made the experience more appealing.
Cool.
I need to destroy furniture.
Well, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm sitting here. It's hard when people are asking you questions, you're like, what? But yeah, new Apple TV is like in its current incarnation pretty good. I haven't got a chance to play Beat Sports yet, just because I haven't got one of the remote loops, basically the wrist strap, and I'm afraid I'm gonna actually let go of it. Also, interesting afterthought on that is we were talking a couple weeks ago about the games not being able to take up more than 200 megs, and the Beat Sports actually says it takes up a gig. I don't know, but like Oceanhorn says it takes up 186 megabytes for the TV version. I have it installed on my phone, so I can tell you the comparable. It did have like almost like a stream setting. It almost seemed like it stopped for just a second, like while I was doing like a loading screen, and then loaded in all the assets.
Right.
But I didn't notice anything bad about it.
So do you think that is it actually loading into, like, because there's two versions of the Apple TV, right?
There's just a 32 and a 64.
Right. So So, but the game memory maybe is limited to what?
200 megs.
200 megs, but the file size is on the drive is not 200 megs, right? So
Yeah.
basically, is that basically just the internal RAM of the Apple TV is 200 megs,
I think
but
it's like
you can store resources and parts of the game to load into that 200 megs in the 32 gigs or.
yeah, in the 64. That's what my guess as well is. Like it's almost like a caching, so it's just caching the game information, and then it's just doing like almost like an auto cache. Like so, if it starts getting full with other applications, it just clears that usable cache.
Because like say for like the Wii U, for example, I think it only has 2. Does it have 1 gigabyte of like RAM? Like how you speak of computer RAM has, what I mean? Like, because the games themselves can be a certain size, but the RAM loading is limited, right?
So I don't know how much RAM is actually in the machine. The games actually do take up storage space.
Yeah.
And so my guess is like it's almost like partitioned to where like there's the game install file that stays on there, and then it has a like temp cache like folder in there as well. And so it can then download all these files into the temp cache, and then once this has kind of like not been played for a while, it gets rid of this part, so it then frees it up so it can then fill in cache for other games until they change it.
Yeah.
It's really sad as I'm sitting here talking and I can't think of usage, but I want to say Oceanhorn's like over a gig install on my phone.
Huh, cool. Yeah, so that's Apple TV. Yeah, Steam controller. I guess that's really, aside from that, Steam controller, you know what I would really like to try for Steam controller is Diablo, if we can get that working with the controller.
Yeah.
Because they have a console version of Diablo, right?
Yeah, I played it on PS4.
Yeah. So we'd have to like figure out how to map that to the same controls that would be on, right?
Yep.
Which I don't know, but I guess I could easily look that up, right?
Yeah, it was it's pretty similar to.
But I think though they have said though that the PC version is very different in terms of what, like how it controls.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I could try and see if I could emulate it somehow.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting to try. But I'm also interested to see like Civilization or something like that, or some games that are really keyboard intensive.
Yeah.
And see if that would work.
Yeah, because most games nowadays actually have like controller support.
Yeah, exactly.
In some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Even if it's not full support, like you still have to use the keyboard with it. So.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Amiibo! I can imagine you just being able to have a layback experience playing some Hearthstone, but I guess you could do that on your iPad.
Yeah, that's true.
Our Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Heroes of the Storm might be the ideal candidate for that kind of thing.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
No, we haven't. I know I got out of it. I don't know. Ryan was hot on it for a while, and then I just didn't get it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I get in like my MOBA fits, like I'll be like, yeah, MOBAs are cool, let's do this, and then it'll be like a week, and then after a week I'm like, I'm not interested in this anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, it's true. We only have so much time.
You can't switch to Boba Fett until you actually beat this.
So, Nintendo had their financial report released, and they had some questions from investors.
Mm-hmm.
And the new president, which I keep forgetting his name,
Kimishima sounds right.
Kimishima-san answered some questions about it. I'm just trying to pull that up. We can talk about that maybe for a bit.
Sure.
It was interesting because it wasn't just him. He answered some questions, but then Miyamoto also answered questions, as well as Takeda. So it was kind of like, you know, everybody was answering from their strengths and what they knew about kind of stuff, which makes sense. I mean, you know, not everybody knows everything, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different. It's more like a panel, I guess. So Miitomo was one of the announcements, which is their mobile game, quote-unquote game. Yeah. So I mean, me friends basically, right? The Tomodachi life, like friends life. So me life, but on your iPhone or Android. So I guess the plan with that, it was not what investors were expecting actually, and so Nintendo stock actually tanked. It dropped about 7%, I think, on the announcement, which is, you know, okay. That's
I think
it's not really a game, and people were worried too because it was delayed, right?
Yeah.
So it's delayed until next March or something like that.
I think the other issue that happened was the Wall Street Journal was really hyping this event. Like I was actually sitting there like ready watching it, like hitting refresh live.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what I was expecting, you know. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna really talk about our mobile strategy. We just want to let you know it's delayed." And I'm like, you know, then your contact at the Wall Street Journal was doing a really terrible job, considering this is all I've heard about for the last like week.
Yeah. So let's just talk about Miitomo a little bit. So they asked the question. A lot of investors, they're really pretty much concerned with monetization. Like, how are you going to make money from this? So like Miitomo is free to start. So basically, they like to call it free to start. They don't like to call it free to play. I don't know. They tend to use that terminology. But they're pretty much the items, the things that they're going to charge for are like clothing for your Miis, etc. So for that particular one, it'll follow a pretty traditional, I guess, free to play model. So free to start. But then there are other games, they said, we're still thinking about the other monetization application for the other applications. So it depends on what kind of game it is. Some will just charge for the game, like when you buy the game, and that'll be it, kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of the model that, you know, you would expect them to go with, because that's their traditional model. Just buy the game and then you get to play it.
Yeah.
However, you've seen experimentation with games like Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, things like that, where, you know, you can unlock different aspects or chapters or parts of the game if you want, but not have to unlock them all if you don't want to, and you can just try it out. You know, or like Fatal Frame, we just demoed that last week. Fatal Frame demo, you know, you can try the first 2 chapters, and then if you like the game, you can buy it. You know, so that's sort of one of their other models, which is sort of the demo model. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That's pretty similar to what Capcom's been doing in the App Store as well. So they kind of give like the first chapter for free. You get your taste. If you like it, you can just straight up buy it.
Right.
Yeah, so I would actually like that model, if that's what the way they're gonna go, because it kind of fills 2 needs. It fills the need for a demo, because a lot of people, especially in app stores, they want a light version, or they want you know, I feel like that never really progressed, where people were doing the download the game and just pay to unlock it at a certain point. But I guess, you know, a few Japanese developers used it, and there were some Ingimoto, that company that got purchased by DNA, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Did that kind of thing as well, where they had like games like Ronaldo that were free to start, and then if you liked it, you could just pay to unlock the rest of it.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar.
I feel like they don't do that as much because it doesn't make as much money.
I guess maybe not. Well, now Apple's been highlighting kind of the pay once, play forever stuff too.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, the typically free-to-play games, you know, if they are a big hit, they make a lot of money.
Yeah, Clash of Clans, Boom Beach.
This is the thing. You know, but it is marketing to the whales, right? So those, you know, maybe 5% or even less, maybe, that do pay a lot, and then the rest would pay little, maybe, or none at all. I typically try to not pay anything at all if I can. But you know, fair enough. If I really like the game, I'll support and I'll buy. You know, maybe spend $5 or. And if I spend $5, that's more than 99 cents that I would have spent if I just bought the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've got you pretty, you know, they're doing pretty well there.
And yeah, I mean, I am one to buy. I like mobile games, so you know, I'm not afraid to spend $5 for a compelling, awesome experience. But yeah, I unfortunately don't feel those are kind of few and far in between. And then Square Enix messes it up for everybody else.
Yeah, with their $15 game.
Yeah, $15, $18 broken games.
Yeah. So a lot of the investor questions are around monetization, but also like they recognize that a game like Miitomo is more about brand recognition and driving people towards other Nintendo IP. They stated themselves that they looked at Miitomo as a way to drive people to their traditional console and handheld games.
Yeah.
As a way to promote their IP, get people thinking about Nintendo, get people just kind of casually playing something that's kind of fun, that's a little bit different than what they're used to perhaps, and then being able to maybe leverage that interest into, maybe I should check out a Wii U or a 3DS or, some of the other Nintendo games and then go from there.
Yeah, and also depending on their NX strategy, if it's kind of the way rumors are stating, I think kind of doing this mobile game experience that does brand awareness will drive a lot of people for it, because like if it's that hybrid of a mobile, home console with kind of this online connected community and maybe some, weird asymmetrical hooks, like, download this Pikmin game where you play as the little Pikmin for your iPhone. You're able to then like do little missions on the go that then pay back on the, asymmetrically to our that asynchronously, not asymmetrically, different thing. Yeah. Back to the main games. That way, when you get home, you're like, hey, it's like, I was at work today during my lunch break. I did all this, and I've made it where it's easier to progress to this next area. Right. So those are kind of the neat things I'd like a farm. I could do my Monster Hunter farm on my phone while I'm at work. And then when I get home, I've already done all my farm stuff, so it's like all the homework I have to do to play Monster Hunter. Done.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, like the Mass Effect. Remember they had that?
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3 had that thing on the iPhone, right?
I have that game.
Yeah, and then you could like build up your readiness level, right, by doing stuff offline. Let me read some quotes here. So the question from an investor: I understand that you're developing roughly 2 types of smart device apps. One that you're aiming to earn profits from directly, and another that you're prioritizing contribution to the revenues of your existing dedicated game service business. In the midterm, how much are you expecting your smart device applications to contribute to your sales and profits? So Kimishima says, other than Miitomo, we can't talk about the other IP. So basically said, we'll have different revenue systems for that. But he says here, while we have not changed our policy of wanting to grow our smart device business into one of the pillars for revenue, the dedicated video game system business remains to be the core of Nintendo's business, and we do not expect our smart device business to immediately constitute half of our revenue. So really, they're restating their priority to the core gaming systems, and of course, NX is coming up. Miyamoto also chimed in on this question. He says this, and this is really interesting. Nintendo is not a company that deals in daily necessities. Because we are engaged in the entertainment business, where no one can forecast what will be the next big thing, and where we have to create the demand ourselves, our job is to always evaluate the situation from time to time and increase the possibility of creating the next big thing.
Yeah. These all seem like very Nintendo answers.
Yeah.
As a hardware manufacturer.
Yeah, that's right. So,
is there any other big quotes from that?
There's NX stuff.
Okay.
So really, they ask about the NX. Will this be the most important business moving forward, and will NX be the main focus? Is the tactics to energize core Nintendo business like NX using their IP? And so Kimishima says, we're making various preparations for NX so it can grow into our core business after its launch. So definitely yes. So we see a thing here. NX is not going to be just a sort of another project or like a side thing. It is the core business. But we've been repeatedly saying we'll talk about it next year, so he can't make any other comments.
Yeah.
Basically, so he says one sentence. It will grow into our core business after launch.
Makes
Which
sense.
makes me believe like next year. I'm not sure they're going to launch it next year unless, like, cause I don't know. People are saying like that they're going to talk about it in 2016, and that means they're going to launch it in 2016. I'm still
I mean, like,
sure.
they announced the Wii U like what, a year before they actually released it.
Yeah.
So it had a full like, I want to say like 16 to 18 months before it actually came out.
Right.
I mean, it depends. Like, so if we look at historically with Nintendo systems, third parties don't drive sales for it. So Nintendo could be baking, like with the, I wouldn't say lack of releases, but the slowdown in releases of first-party Nintendo games.
Yeah.
We could be looking at like a launch of Nintendo products, and maybe them coaxing some interesting experiences from mobile developers.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm thinking, because here's another thing to talk about. So someone asked, so basically their plan is to release 5 smart device applications or games by end of March 2017. Now, do you think that gives us a clue as to the date? Like why? So March 2017 is basically end of fiscal year, right? That's the end of the fiscal year. But could you see a build-up of mobile games, like you're saying, tide us over until NX is ready in 2017?
Yeah.
Rather than just, because really, like when they say we're going to talk about it and that's all they're saying, I don't know that means that a lot is ready. Because a lot of times, really, like when things are not ready, they like even the Wii U when they launched it, when they talked about it at E3, it was 2 years away, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was not anything near complete. It pretty much had the form factor and
a form factor and a name.
Some of the innards, maybe, but not really, because all that stuff changes all the time, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the other things. They're having to do research to figure out what they're going to lock the hardware to. Because I want to say, they probably did say, hey, this is what we're going to lock as our goal target, like hardware-wise.
Yeah.
Because like they then have to start ramping up manufacturing and making dev kits and things like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm still firmly in the camp that NX is not coming out in 2016.
Yeah, I will throw a little caveat to that. As like I will say, if it's gonna come out, it'll come out next year. It'll come out the end of next year. So basically, be
holiday 2016.
Yeah, holiday 2016. And if it does, I don't feel it's gonna have a lot. We won't probably see a third-party presence if it launches next year. Maybe some indie stuff, but I think that's about it.
Yeah.
We won't have an EA game or anything. I also am wondering if third parties will even be approached back. Really.
It's like forget that. We'll just do it all. We'll just do it all ourselves.
I mean, just make it like the hardcore Japanese gaming machine.
Well, if you can get like a new IP like Splatoon as a launch title, that's like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Then maybe you could, maybe you could launch it that way.
Yeah, I mean, they could
just wait for the third party and their own games to come through.
Yeah, I mean, like speaking of something like that, I mean, they could with the rumor that there's a Super Mario Sunshine HD is going to be announced. Like they could just announce it with a new Splatoon game and a bunch of enhanced games, and then maybe like 2 or 3 other new titles, and you have a 10 to 15 game lineup. Throw in 10 or 15 indie games that are porting over, and then you could bring your entire digital eShop library from your 3DS and your Wii U over to the new NX experience. And that could be a pretty compelling argument.
That would be doing things right.
Yeah,
that's not what they're gonna do.
No, that's why I still have a PS3 sitting next to my PS4. Those are the things those are my dreams.
Yeah, those are the dreams and hopes for the show. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. So we all have to just wait till 2016.
Yeah,
they're really towing the line. They're really not talking about anything at all. So anyway, well, I think that about does it for our show. I don't have any picks this week. Do you have any picks? Extra Life.
Extra Life.
If you're not doing it this year, do it next year.
Yeah.
Or you can still donate to many, many people. Just go to extra-life.org, and you can look for me, Eugene Hua, or Mikey. Are you under Mikey Rollins? Or?
Yeah, I am under Mikey
so
Rollins.
you can just look at that. Ryan's there too. Ryan's not playing, but if you want to support Ryan Thompson, you can as well. I'm sure he'd be very surprised if you gave him a donation. But yeah, this is our show. I don't have my standard clothes here, so. We've got numbers. We've got Twitter. So our Twitter is GP Magic Hour Show. And my personal Twitter is GamerParent, and Mikey's is Mikey. I'm not even gonna let you talk. Play, and I'll do the entire thing. You can watch this on. Well, this will be highlighted and archived on Twitch. So you can catch us twitch.tv/The Magic Hour Show, and then on YouTube it's youtube.com/c/The Magic Hour Show Live, and you can always find this show on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on RSS, which you can find at our website, gamerparent.net or themagichourshow.net. And that's it for our show. I'm your host, Eugene Hua. Thanks for listening. Okay.